Hello everybody, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to the aftermath of my Is World of Tanks Dead video, where, well, I wanted a little bit to discuss what 9.20 will bring us. And this video I made before the test server came out, and we just had the bluntly news, like what is going to happen, which tanks gets buffs and which tanks gets nerfs. A lot of S's there. But I also said in the end of the video, which, well, as you can see, was quite a long video, that what do you guys think about? And this is also what I want to do. I want to a little bit talk about what you think, my personal experience from now some of my games on the test server, how does it feel? And lastly, what is coming up in the future, because there are small things. And a good example is that for example, that the British bus, like for the FV 4202, Centurion Action X and Centurion 1 and Centurion 7.1 didn't make it to the 9.20 test server. Maybe they come in a second iteration, or they come in 9.21. And personally, this is actually a good thing, because there are new buffs incoming for other British tanks. And well, we will see how this is going to go. But first, we are going to have a little look at what you guys said. Well, some were just saying that wargame is completely stupid or just ranting about them, and well, others were more thoughtful, and I can't really read into every single one. I also tried to give for some of the for most of the comments. I also gave my personal comment to that. But yeah, I wanted to know what you guys think. And well, Orpheus Demolus thinks it's not dead, but it won't stay alive for long. Now, if you consider premium shitpast with broken matchmaking and disgusting community alive, then yes, it will live for a long time. With it, well, there will be 15 defenders versus 15 defenders shooting gold. Well, this is obviously something against World of Tanks politics about premium tank, and I have to say, many premium tanks right now feel a little bit too strong. And I have to say, I do like the idea that premium tanks bring something unique into the game, something which you don't really have on other tanks. I think the most remarkable example is the tier 6 premium Stridswagen AMX Brit, where it has a 4-shot autoloader with a rather strong amount of damage, but it's not that fast, and I think this is a unique tank design, and I personally have no problem with that. Another tank many people really dislike is the Scorpion G. It is something in the sense unique, but it could also have been a lot better in the normal tech tree, in my opinion. But it is a premium tank. There it brings mobility in the turret. It's really strong, yes, but it is also something rather unique compared to its tech tree counterpart. And well, but there are also other premium tanks which are not that unique or just simply stupid. One of which being the Chrysler GF, and how Orpheus said it, the Defender. No notable frontal weak spot. I also discussed it in my The Truth About HD Models video. And yeah, it's kind of sad that those tanks getting stronger and stronger, and well, in team battles and in advanced, you rarely play IS-3 anymore. You simply go for Defender Object 252 because they are simply better. And this is kind of a little bit wrong. Sure, I understand that wargaming throw away their politics where premium tanks had to be worse than their tech tree counterpart, ergo IS-6, KV-5, all T-34, and the list goes on and so on, yes. And it's understandable, because they didn't want it to, back in the days, make it pay to win, and back in the days also the people had a little bit more, how should I say, they had a better grasp of reality, in my opinion. But well, let's move on to Rod Cernesi's comment, and he says that it's a consequence that all those premium tier 8 buffs come because there are many OP tanks at tier 8 which are premium. Again, Chrysler and Object 252-Defender. And he also says that a rebalance is necessary, but the problem is you can't touch premium tanks. This is their policy, and well, it is a reasonable policy, but it also works to touch premium ships in World of Warships with not going, everything is going haywire or haywire, everything is going, oh my god, you touched the premium ship, why you do this wargaming? It works out kind of, and I think they should reconsider their options to also being balancing those premium tanks. And he also says about the changes that Omo got a free specialty 10 tank. Why not giving it with the WZ-111 and the 113? In my personal comment I said there that the 113 and WZ-111 are rather completely different tanks, if you know what I mean. Back in the days where the Chinese heavy tanks came into the game and were on the test server, the WZ-111 Fifth 5A was the tier 10 tank back in the days, but somehow the 113 made it, and here we are now. The problem is though, making two different trees with the Foch 155 on the one side and the Foch B on the other is kind of stupid if you think about it. It's simply or bluntly the same tank. It has same speed, same maneuverability, same soft stats, same gun traverse angle, same gun depression, same armor, just different guns. One has a 6 shots 120mm autoloader, one has a 3 shot 155mm autoloader. There we go. Those are the changes. And well, they could have considered to give the Foch B the option to put two different guns on it, but they didn't, so we have it as a new premium tank there, or as reward tank rather. We saw it already wargaming doing it with a Berlin tank, the ENG 122S, which is basically an ENG with the 122 gun, nothing more to talk about. Others, well, he also saying that the changes to the Batchet 25 are kind of hilarious, and why exactly they are changing it a little bit. And well, yeah, the only good thing is the new mode 30 versus 30 and the buffs to other tanks. We still miss buffs though for the KV5 and the IS-6. Personally, I think they hesitate with those buffs because they are special matchmaking premium tanks, and giving them a horrendous amount of penetration with normal AP guns or a really good DPM could maybe make them really stupid for other tanks. Also, they screw around a little bit with the matchmaking. Nevertheless, matchmaking is still broken, and every single time I play the game on the normal server, it's just frustrating sometimes. You are constantly mid to low tier. Tier 8, you are like out of 10 games 8 times in a tier 10 game, not 1 time in a tier 9 game, and once you have to be the top tier game where you will be fighting 15 versus 15 tier 8s. Others, Star's Blood Lad, said that the Chieftain has extreme weak hull armor, and that's the reason why Wargame won't put it in the game. It would be something like a Centurion Action X. Personally, AMX 30B is the same. It has a weak hull armor. Now with the buffs it has a strong turret. M48 pattern plays the same if you think about it with the new buffs. So yeah, Iberg Tiras, I'm sorry if I say any names wrong, I'm sorry there. And he says the game is centered using premium ammunition, and it's lost its fun and skill side since everybody spams gold ammunition. He is right. When yesterday I made my third mark of excellence on the 95 pattern, and legit, the last 2 games I have, which are both aces, I just spammed the shit out of gold because I wanted to be 100% certain to penetrate. Well, you can argue most of the tanks I shot at were Patriots, which have 150mm frontal armor and have 190mm penetration. So yeah, I wanted to be certain to penetrate everything, and he's bringing a good point. He says that each class fulfills its purpose. They need to rebalance its armor values, and he said that they should compensate for every gold ammunition in the game and make it only available for gold again. Simply, I don't think it's a good point, but it's not the right choice. Murasor himself, the one which gave us this redonkulous heavy meta with mouse and type 4-5 heavies all around, said himself that he wants to completely cut the link between gold values and ammunition values, like credits values, and make them not even being able to be purchased with gold anymore. So they want to change it up that, so for example, more AP types come into the game. I think I already talked about this in this video, in the video beforehand, the part 1, if you want to say it like that. But AP HE shells, AP armor piercing, ballistic cap shells, and so should come into the game and have pros and cons. And I think this is a better approach to World of Tanks, and I think also that premium shells could be equal. For example, yes, heat has better penetration, but for example, they do a lower amount of damage, because what do? It's simply one small but immensely fast and hot metal stream, like around Mach 50 speed of sound, something like that. And it's logical that those shells would not do as much damage as something like an armor piercing HE shell, which penetrates the armor and then explodes inside because of its HE component. So maybe we'll see that. Others, Mick has wrote a lot, and yes, some of them it's going to repeat himself again, and others like Sergeant Rock. First of all, thanks for the little saying that you like my content. And yeah, he's right, tier 7 is kind of a sweet spot right now, because matchmaking is putting you well at your 8 games, so it's not too bad, it's not too good, but yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I don't want to, yes, a lot of text by you, Natic Sport. I don't really want to go too deep into it anymore. Or he also talks about that the current meta is also changing a lot of crew skills. Crew skills, in my opinion, need an overhaul. There are so many which are either useless, ergo like radio range increasements, or anything related to radio range is completely useless. Might be slightly more useful on the 30 versus 30 game mode, Nebelburg. But I think they should think about what can you do with radio range. Maybe the higher radio range is, the higher you, or the further you can have render range. That might be a good idea, because, well, people can spot or tell you better where the enemies are. And the last comment is that from Valharis, that he's saying what are, in my opinion, the matchmaking, the map pool. Those are things which are problems which are not being addressed. The same goes with derp guns. And, well, he's kind of right. Derp guns defeat the purpose of armor, especially when you get 600 damage shells because somebody's shooting premium HE. Hashtag Type 5 heavy style. And the map pool, well, yes, many maps feel the same, and the map pool is still not fixed when you get twice in a row El Haluf as once attack and once defender. You can't tell me that this is a different type of game just because once I'm on the right side, once I'm on the left side, if you know what I mean. It's still the same map wargaming. I don't want to play the same map all over at the time. Otherwise, there are maps like Pilsen, which are Paris. I already talked about them. I simply don't like the style, how they are. And this is also why I look forward to the new Nebelburg map. And, well, sooner or later, like, yes, we are done with the comments, so we'll start now to talk about my thoughts about the new update or the new test server. I played a lot of games on it, and it feels goodish. Obviously, you can't really say it's a really nice server to play in, because everybody can have tier 10 tank there. Like, even the new players, even the biggest tomatoes, well, they can also have that on this live server, but whatever. More urgent is that everybody's shooting heat, so you can hardly test somebody's armor. Well, in the end, on the live server, this also happens if you don't penetrate, you shoot heat or premium shells in general. But certainly, I feel like the new tree brings something additional into the game again. Like something like a Sturmgeschütz, something like an E3. Like, the new tank seriously feels like a mixture between an E3's armor, not turned down for what? From the end speed of Object 268, and it's like a crossbreed, and it feels like a good crossbreed. And the sad part is, though, they're huge XP drains. I already talked about that. Otherwise, one thing I really do like about the new update is that if you play tier 10 right now, you get something for it. Because at the moment in 9.91, playing tier 10 feels a little bit lackluster in the sense of, well, you get better crews, you get more WN8, that's about it. And you maybe get marks of excellence, woohoo, if you are a good player or know how to play your tank. But that's about it. Right now, they introduced for tier 10 only battles, like 15 versus 15 or 30 versus 30, that you are able to receive bonds. And this finally gives you a little bit more of a goal to work for, that you can finally get again bonds to either use them as derivatives to boost your tanks slightly or even get those good modules. And the best thing is they are available for every player which plays tier 10. They're not a whole lot, like I think on average on a victory 11 to 15 and average on a lose 0 to 6 or 7, something around that. And it's not a lot. Again, for a good module, I think you pay around 3,000 pounds or something. So yes, it's a lot you need to invest to get those things, but for derivatives, it works. And yes, also the new map, it really feels something unique. I finally got the feeling again that when I play as a TD, as a sniper TD like a Guerrilla 15 or something like a Stage 2 or something like a Stridswagen, that I have an impact. Because you have city where the heaviest tanks can brawl, you have corners where people can face head on, and you have a lot of space to cover. Sure, mouses and such won't have that much happiness. Well, they can just ruffle through the city and either win or lose. But otherwise, the map certainly feels like fun, and I personally have my fun on the map. And yes, otherwise, the buffs for certain tanks and nerfs, it shows again Wargaming wants to work on their it's called rebalance, and I think this is again a good step in the right direction. Otherwise, the new test server didn't brought a lot more except for the rebalances, the 30 versus 30 and the bonds. The new Chinese tech tree. Some changes to artillery, but well, I don't play a lot of artillery, it's just noise sometimes. But lastly, what I want to talk about is, what do we have new news? Do we have something for 9.20 again, maybe in a second iteration of test server? Or do we have something about a new 9.21, 9.20.1? And yes, there is something. There are more changes to British tanks, and well, it's rather interesting. The whole turreted TD line of the Brits gets some changes. The Challenger gets a new gun with 280 damage and decent penetration. It's basically the gun of a Centurion 1 with more damage. And I'm not saying no to that, because I personally skipped the Challenger. I hated the tank. It was such an abomination of garbage. Another good thing is though, the Conway gets also something more unique. He gets a new gun, a 600 damage gun, well, and 10 degrees of gun depression. And this is something really, really nice. All of those tanks get 10 degrees of gun depression, plus the Stage 2 even gets 180 degrees of angles, from 90 degrees, which is, let's get my mechanics book, 90 degrees like this to 180, so like this. That's a whole bunch of gun traverse limits, plus 10 degrees of gun depression, plus top speed of 50 kilometers. Some nerfs to accuracy on the move and such, but they're not listed here. Can actually bring a Stage 2 into the meta. Like, it could be the new Guerrilla 15. The speed is decentish. It has 10 degrees of gun elevation, gun depression. It has 180 degrees of good gun traverse limits, and well, it has a one-shot capability when you shoot a hash. The only problem is accuracy sometimes, and yeah, reliability when you shoot hash. Nevertheless, the Conway's new gun gets also hash ammunition. 200 damage, 770, 200 penetration, 770 damage. That's also a rather good feeling. The only problem is though, well, with the real time and the penetration, it feels like an Object 704 is still better DPM. Even without shooting, this tank needs to shoot hash, coming close to the DPM of a Object 704. So yeah, Anyway, I hope I was able to talk to you about what I wanted to address. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I didn't really have any notes about it. What do you think? I'm looking forward to 9.20, to be honest. There's a lot of changes coming and a lot of good changes coming. And yeah, I'm looking forward what they're going to change. Maybe nerfing the Force B a little bit. Maybe, just maybe giving the Force 155 a little bit of a nice little twist. Maybe some more damage, hopefully. Because, well, the Force B has... it has almost 900 DPM more. That's a frick ton. So either nerf the Force B or maybe give the Force 155 850 damage per shot. That would be nice, wargaming. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for your attention, obviously. And good luck on the battlefield and have fun on the test server. Try it out. It's only heat spam and gold ammunition spam which is going to hold you off. As always, bye bye.